Hello and welcome to my live stream for the week. As the title says, I want to talk about photo editing and photo editing apps tonight. Let me see who is here. I am not a photographer. Hi, the Tinkerer's wife. Welcome. As I said, I'm not a photographer, but I use photos a lot. I use photos sometimes in my videos. I take a lot of personal photos and I post them on social media. And sometimes you have to edit them. So tonight I wanted to talk to you about photo editing. I wanted to check with you if anybody has any request of me making tutorials about any photo editing apps and what you do with your photos. Since I just started the stream, I will wait a little while before I show you my favorite. I have picked out a couple of favorite photo editing websites that I use quite often. I am also going to talk about 3 of my favorite software for the computer when it comes to editing. One that is totally free, and then I have 2 different price levels for the other 2. And if we have time and if it's possible to see, I'm going to talk about my favorite photo editing apps for cell phone. So, the Tinkerer's wife, do you ever do any photo editing? Okay, you need a good photo editing option, Android phone and laptop. I will have a couple for you tonight. I have a couple that's free and a couple that's unexpensive. And then, of course, we have the more expensive one. But I don't think I have any of the really expensive ones on my list for tonight. Yeah, it's usually easier. I actually prefer to do all my photo editing on my laptop just because I'm getting old and it's easier to see when you're working on a bigger surface. But I have my absolute favorite photo editing app for the phone is a free one, and it is advanced. It has a little learning curve, but it is absolutely excellent. But let's see, let's start by talking about on the web. Let me share my screen here. Yeah, laptop is much easier for older eyes. Let me see, we're gonna go there and we're gonna choose Chrome tab. Here. This is probably the app I use the most online, and this is Canva. I have the paid option, but even with the free option, there is. Oh, hi, Villa TV. Welcome, Jacob. Even in the free option, there is quite a lot of things you can do. And I hope that the things I show now is free. I have it on my phone too, but I prefer to, as I said, to work on the laptop. Here I put an old photo of myself, and of course we can crop it, the size of it, and things like that. But when it comes to photo editing, under adjust, thank you, Jacob. If we go under adjust, as you see to the left here, let me make this a little bigger so it's easier to see. There is a lot of things we can actually do. Brightness. We can change the contrast. Oh, I shouldn't change them. I should just show it. We can change the saturation of the photos. We can change the tint. You see, I can go all the way from the red over the spectrum to the ultraviolet on the other side. I can blur them or sharpen them by changing the blur effect. I can do the X process that changes the color spectrum a bit and the blurriness. Oops, I have blur on here. And I can add a vignette to the photo. The thing with, yeah, very much like Instagram. Let me take the vignette off. The thing with these editing software is that you can't really isolate that, especially on Canva. You can't isolate a part of the picture. So if you want to increase the brightness, the whole picture gets brighter. So another one that I love to use online, and this is pixelpia. Let me change that screen and share another Chrome tab here. There we go. This is called pixelpia, and as you see, they show in the right end here, they have ads on. That's how they can have it free. But this is actually, even for the free account, the only difference is between the free and the paid account is that you have to live with these ads aside. But this is a really advanced software. This is very much like Photoshop, but free. You can work with layers. For example, I can put a new color fill layer here and pick a color. Okay. And then I can work with the intensity of that color fill. Oops. I don't want to lock it. I want to change the intensity of it. Let's delete that one. Let's take an easier one. I can have an adjustment layer, for example, hue and saturation. Let's add this here. And I can go in and change saturation. That should be above. I can add saturation, hue, and lightness. If I use a layer, it changes the whole picture, but I can also work with, oops, the wrong one. Let's say that I want to change Come on. My skin tone. And I can, oops. I'm holding, is it control? Yeah. Still didn't get the whole. Now I had selected just my skin there, and let's add a hue and saturation filter, and as you can see now it's working with just the part I have marked. West Haven always and forever. Hello, welcome. We are talking photo editing. You are so welcome. I assume you are a friend of Adrian, since you know Tinkerer's wife. No, are you? Now I'm confused. And I'm loose. So this is a much more advanced app to use, and it is on, let me stop this. And it is on the web and it's free. They have a paid version, but this is a much longer learning curve. And I should show you, if you are interested in this. Let's make it easy and just share the whole screen here. If you see here, they have a section called Learn. And here they have all the lessons about the workspace, how to work with layers and masks and smart objects. And let me close that. What I did was up here, put this on so I can draw. Up here in the top where it says Learn. If I click that, it opens in a new tab and we have all the lessons we can think of to learn photo P. So that's, let me put that in the chat. It's photopea.com. So that is if you are interested in more advanced photo editing, where you have real control over everything. It's very much like Photoshop if you have ever tried it. It has a longer learning curve than trying to do something in Canva. But if you only, for most people, you just need a simple edit of a photo. Maybe it was too dark or something like that. Then I think Canva works excellent. So, what do you guys, West Heaven, do you ever work in photo editing in any way? And what do you use? Tinkerer's wife, I know you have dipped your toes in Canva already, but I agree with you most definitely. Working with Canva on the phone is really not easy. At least when you get to a certain age. I can hardly see anymore. If I open Canva here, let me see if I can log in. And let's open one of my photos here. Here, it's the same photo here. Let's share the screen again. And let's do this. So you see, if you can see here, on Canva, I need to add the little plus sign down here, and then I need to work with the little tiny information at the bottom here. While I, on the computer, as you can see, have big, easy, oh, I can't do it there, here. Big, easy sliders to work with. And I can even put in the numbers here if I want to lighten this 10 steps. Tinker's wife says, I used to use Photoshop, but the very old version. Yeah, many of us started there. And then she says, I have a vision issue that makes it more difficult to focus, so larger is definitely better. Yeah, and for me, it's just a question about age. So when it comes to photo editing on the web, those are probably the two I would recommend. Canva for very easy editing and pixelpia for more advanced. But then we have alternative for the computer as well. Well, I'm getting up there too. I'm gonna be 63 this year. So with age come those problems. Now I'm going to share my screen again because I want to show you 3 different apps that I use. And the first one, the gray one here, let's just open a photo so we have something to work with. This is probably, I don't know what this is. Let's open it. Okay, that was that picture. This is probably the closest you can come to Photoshop with a freeware. This is a GIMP, GIMP. Let me write that in the chat. Easier if I am in the chat. And this is freeware. It stands for, let me see here now, GNU, Image Manipulation Program. And it is absolutely free. It is open source and you can download it for Windows, for iOS, for Apple, and for Linux. And I even think, let me see if they have it on. I think they even have a version for, yes, they have a version at least for Android. It's called XGIMP Image Editor. And this is really advanced software. It, like every software that is more advanced, it has a steep learning curve. But also here, if I click on help, it says the GIMP user manual is not installed, but I can read it online. So it's open here in a new browser. And it takes a while for it to download. But this is just like the help section I just showed you. And then you have, oops, I didn't mean to do that. They have a lot of places where they have forums. Since it is an open source, people try to develop it all the time because the code is available for any developer. And oh my gosh, it hasn't, here we go. This is just the welcome, what's new, fire up, how to start, what is new. First step, oops, getting started, how to become a GIMP wizard, function references. There is a lot to do here, and they show very precisely with pictures and everything how it works. So if you are interested in an advanced photo editor that have almost any function you can think of, I suggest GIMP. And this is, as I said, free. My next alternative we have here, and that is, let's open the picture here first. Let's just grab one here. This is Affinity. This is not free. This cost for Windows, it costs $49.99. But that is a one-time payment. You buy the software and then you own it. They have a version for iPad that costs $19.99. And this is almost as advanced as Photoshop with all the editing option. You can work in layers, you can specify something you want to work on. And they have under help, they have what they call tutorial. So that opens on the web and you have video tutorials about how to do certain things. And it goes on and on and on. But you can also search if you want to find something specific here. So that is my second suggestion when it comes to for the computer. And I am pretty sure they have versions both for iOS and for Windows. My third version, and the reason I hang on to this is this came out as a freeware. No, as a shareware, it was called back in the days. This is when internet was new and young. and it is called Paint Shop Pro. This is like Photoshop's little sister or brother. I have used this since 1990. It first came out as a shareware. You paid what you thought it was worth. And no, I know, Paint Shop is almost forgotten. They got bought up by Coral. So Coral Paint Shop Pro, I have the 2021 version because since you have had it forever, since the Stone Age, you get offers to upgrade. And I think when Paint Shop Pro got really popular was version 4 or something, when there were Paint Shop Pro tutorials everywhere. Now it's Paint Shop Pro. Oh, I haven't installed the new one yet. Here you see, I have 2020 still. But I get offers, so I buy them for the upgrade for like $30. I have both Paint Shop Pro and the video editing program that comes with it. It's a bundle that I bought. And if you want to buy Paint Shop Pro for 2021, it's $79, I think. $79.99. So ridiculous. Why don't they say it's $80? Yeah, Coral bought them. So now it's called Coral Paint Shop Pro. So it's $80, and then they have an ultimate version that is $100. But I have the regular version. And here you can also do all the things I talked about. You can work in layers. You can work on a specific part. You can, let's say that I wanted to object, where do I have my background eraser? Here. I want to erase the background. And let's make this size really big. Oh, that's gonna erase everything. You see, it picks up the gray and I can get rid of that. Then I probably, oops, my hair was too close in color. I have to change the density here and the So this is a software where you can do some extra steps. You can work in layers, as I said. Now I lost my train of thought here. So those are the 3 software I recommend when it comes to downloadable software that you install. GIMP, very advanced and totally free. Affinity, affordable and advanced. And Paint Shop Pro, I must call it advanced and semi-affordable, $80. But it all depends on what needs you have. I used to work much more with photos back in the days when I was doing web graphics. Nobody does that anymore. I don't think people even know what it is. But back in the days when we built website by using Notepad and writing HTML code by hand, you had to create your own buttons and arrows and everything you wanted on your website. That's when I started to work with graphics. I also have looked at, excuse the paper thing here. I also have looked at apps for your phone. And there is one that is just as advanced as Photoshop if you don't want to spend that money. And that is actually by Google. And it's called Snapseed. I don't know if you can see up. It's hard in the light. Let me turn down the light on this to something a little more doable. Let's see, can you see it now? I think you might be able to. The little green leaf there, the second icon, it's called Snapseed. And this, I have opened a photo here. I don't know what that's. Now you can see it. This is very advanced. The tools here, I can, for example, work with curves. So I can do an S curve to change my photo a little bit. I don't see if you can, but you see the curves here. I can change the color grading. They have some automatic functions with filters like most photo editing apps have. And they also, I can make it look vintage. I don't know how vintage that looks, but I can change color. And they have some fun filters you can use. But this is absolutely the all categories best editor I have found for a phone. And I am pretty sure, let me check this very fast here, but I am pretty sure that they have Snapseed. Yeah, you can find Snapseed on the App Store if you're an iOS user as well. Hi, Gana. Welcome. So, if you're interested in a very advanced photo editing app for your phone, absolutely take a look at Snapseed. Another one I use and that I am making videos about this week is, of course, Google Photos. I made one video where I talked in general about the interface where you find things both for computer and for the phone on Monday, and on Friday is a second video about Google Photos, how you can manipulate photos and work with them. But that was no good to open. But they also have some editing effects here. So if we go in, we can crop. Under adjust, I can adjust colors. I can adjust blur, and all of those things that I showed is possible to do in Google Photos as well. So that's my second choice when it comes to the phone. And then, of course, we have the Adobe family. We have Lightroom, which I have here, and the free version of Lightroom is a little bit limited. You have to upgrade to the paid version. Oh, my trial version have expired even. You get a trial version for a week and then you have to upgrade. So I don't think it's worth the money. I would probably never pay money for a photo editor on my phone because I can do everything I need to do with Snapseed. And if I just want an easy editing, for example, change the light in a photo, I would probably use either Canva or Google Photos. So that was my thoughts about photo editing apps. I will probably re-edit this live stream when it's over and put up my favorite photo editing apps as a separate video, and I will have everything linked there. But now, do you have any questions about photo editing, about apps, or any request for me to try and do a tutorial about either any of the apps and programs I talked about today, or any other photo editing programs? Let me hear what you have to say in the chat. Gana, you are an artist, so I know you mostly works with drawings, but I guess you sometimes works with photos as well. And what do you use when you work with editing photos? I'm curious to hear. Yeah, Tinkerer's wife, if you have worked in Paint Shop Pro and if you have worked in Photoshop ages ago, I think you would love both the Affinity or working with on the web with pixelpia. I think they would fit you well. You use your Procreate even for photos? Okay. And the Tinkerer's wife, I would suggest that you download GIMP and take a look at it because it is a very advanced photo editing app, that photo editing software that is totally free. And they always improve. Since it is open source, there are always people working on the source code, improving the software, and sharing it with everybody. So I don't know if it's old school me, but I love to support open source software. And most of them have a link so you can throw a couple of dollars at them. Yeah, open source has its benefits. I really agree with you. And I mean, people put in a lot of work in them. So I usually, even if it's open source, I usually pay something little for the ones that have that option. A lot of them don't, but many have that option. And it's always sad when you see that the open source disappears and then you realize after a while that someone bought them and they don't exist anymore. But GIMP has been around since the 90s, I think. So I'm sure they will stay around as open source forever. And I really like that software. You never use anything else by Procreate, Ghana? Is that all you use? And I mean, photo editing don't have to be advanced. It can be as simple as making a birthday card for someone and you just want to change the size or cut the photo in half and do something like that. Most of us don't need to do any advanced photo editing. What I like the most about photo editing is when I find old photos that were taken with those old Kodak moments that was taken with the, what was it called? Instamatic camera. Was it Instamatic? Oh my gosh. Now I'm really aging myself. It's not a strong point for me either. But I love photos. Instamatic camera, yeah. Let me share this. I found this. Let me share the screen again. This is what we found on Instamatic camera. Do you remember those? You use your phone sometimes? Okay. Color adjustment? Well, that can be enough. I mean, most of us don't do. But what I was going to say, I love when I find old photos, maybe taken with this Instamatic camera. Yeah, memories. Yeah. I know you would recognize them. And, or I find old negatives. Then I can go in and photo edit. I know we found some really, really old photos of my in-laws, and the photos were ripped and they were distorted. It was for someone's birthday or something like that, an anniversary or whatever it was. I scanned them all in, and there were rips in them and color fading, and so I scanned them and then I really worked long and hard to make them look almost like new again. Let's see here. I have photos of my mom as a young woman I love to work with, and of my dad, the flyboy, too. Yeah, that is when photo editing can be so much fun. And I recently learned such an easy trick when you find old negatives. You just need a source of light, it can be just a strong flashlight, a glass. You put the flashlight glowing up, put the glass and put your negatives, and then you use your cell phone and take a photo of the negative. So let me stop sharing this screen. So imagine that I have something rigged up here. Let's use my coffee mug as an example. I have something sitting here on this level with a flashlight underneath. And then I put the negative on top. And I just take my cell phone like this and take a photo of the negative. So that will be a photo on my phone where the colors are inverted, because that's really what the negative is. And I open that in a photo editor and I invert the colors. And all of a sudden, it looks like the photo when we used film. When we invert that photo of the negative, invert the colors, it will look like the photo we got on paper from those. Yeah, do photo restoration on the computer. Yes, and even using that trick, it's so simple, but I never thought about it. All you need is a light source that shining up through the negative, and you're taking a photo of it, and then you invert it, and you have those old photos on the phone. And then you might have to cut them out because you have the whole line of negatives. But it's easy. I have tried it after I heard that. It's easy to do. And I guess we all at our age have old negatives laying around. And I don't know. I honestly don't know where I would go to get those photos negatives processed today. I guess there are places that still do it, but now I can do it myself. You should try Tinker's Wife. It works. I have done it. Yeah, if you really want to do, if you want to learn more about GIMP specifically, I think you can do a fantastic job with restoring old photos. Now I'm talking about it, I feel like, oh, maybe I should do that too. There are a few places here where you live that still do it, yeah. Well, I guess there are places that still do it, but I mean, if you go into a Walgreens, they use digital. You just send them over from your phone. So I am not sure where I would go today. I'm glad you got something out of this. And look, for once, I'm gonna keep my time schedule. I have always said I want this to stay within an hour, and we are almost at the hour point. This is something I need to work on to keep my live streams within the time limit I set for myself. Last time, I think I went on for 2.5 hours. Well, I'm glad you get excited about creative things. So, the Tinkerer's Wife, after what I said tonight, is there any of these that you would like for me to eventually do a tutorial about? A beginner's tutorial. I would not be able to do like an advanced tutorial for GIMP. That wouldn't fit on my channel, but I could most definitely do a beginner's tutorial. But I don't know how much interest it would be. Or maybe I should do. Maybe I could actually do a tutorial about how you can put your old negatives out on the internet. I should really try and do that. I have to see what a GIMP for beginners would be great, yeah. Yeah, I have to think about that and put something together. Ooh, why is my laptop not plugged in? Now it is. I got a little warning that my laptop almost died. Um, yeah, maybe I should do that one about the negatives because there are. What about WordPress? What do you want about WordPress? How to set up a WordPress website? Is that what you would like to do? I had something old. Let me think. Did I delete that from my channel? I think I did, or was it in the. I might have something on WordPress still up on about the blogging. Let me quickly go in and look here. Do I have it? I had the blogging. Let me see. Where did I have that? I think I had something about. Or maybe I didn't. Is my memory. I have very little about how to publish something on WordPress.com. Okay, do you have your WordPress on WordPress.com? Let me see. I am using WordPress, but not on their website. I am using it on where I have pixelpia.com. But WordPress.com, you can build both free and paid websites. And I think but that is absolutely something I can do. I was thinking about doing a couple of tutorials about building a website in general, but I know WordPress is one of the more popular free ones. I know I did a series, and once again, I'm not sure if that is in my deleted bunch. Do you remember what your website was called, Ganna? I did a series about how to build a website using Google Sites. Okay, WordPress.com. Could it be under the name Ghana? Let's see, /Ghana. I don't know. I'm trying to see. No. I can't find you. It's literally have been over 5 years since I've looked at it. Well, maybe forget about that and build a new one. And I did a series about how to use Google Sites for building a website, which is very limited. WordPress is much more accessible. So maybe I should do that. Okay, Tinker's wife, you would be interested in that too. You said you want to redo your old blogger. You have, is that on blogger.com, which is part of Google too? George, let me see. George Ghana. Okay. Does it say the whole URL? I didn't find that. You have a blog loading? Okay. So building a website and show some of those free versions. Blog loving, I have my own web hotel, so I do everything there. But okay, building website, it's on my agenda. I would most definitely do that and do it on some of those spaces. I know that if you want it for free, and WordPress.com has very easy ways to start. I can also show how you can use some of the bigger like Squarespace and Biospace. And if you want, I think, I don't want to lie here. Let me see. I have hired space on a web hosting site called Site 5. And that costs me per year, let me see, $200, I think, per year. But then, oh, you found it. Let me see. Oh, here we have it. Do you mind, Ghana, if I share the screen? You have used it as a blog. I see that now. 2015 was the last time you posted anything there. That's been its October, a little over 5 years since you posted anything there. Okay, let's share it. Share. Where do we have you there? Share. There we have you. Let me scroll down. No. How did I end up in your files? There we have you. 5 facts about moi. Bonjour, loves. And then we have nothing. Blog. This is all your keywords. So you have written there 2 times. Huh. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Well, maybe you want to do something different with it. I mean, you use it as a blog, but you can. I know you are looking for commission work as an artist, so maybe you should make this your page where you sell your art. You don't, and they have many other templates to use than this one that you have used. This one is set up for blogging, but they have a lot of free templates to build your website around that is not blogging. So you could build something for your commission art. Well, you say you made it and walked away. But you know what? That is where WordPress has an advantage, and all of these places, even if you buy space. The thing is, you get some ads on them when you use the free spaces. But let me see. I don't think you have to pay much on. I will look into this much more if I'm gonna do a tutorial, but I don't think they are priced very high. For $4 a month, you can collect payments, you remove the ads, and you get a free domain for a year and unlimited email support. So that's not bad. If you go up to premium for $8 per month, you also get live chat support, earn ad revenue, premium themes, upload videos, and Google Analytics integration. So WordPress isn't expensive if you compare, but $8 a month, that's almost $100 a year. So, and I pay $200. But the advantage I have with mine is that for that $200, I have unlimited space. I can build on pixelpia.com. I can have subdomain, so I can do blog.pixelpia.com. I can do 100 websites, 200, 500. It doesn't matter. And then I have several. Now I'm losing words. What are they called? I have several domains. I have pixelpia.com. I have pixelpialive.com. I have grumpygardenum.com. I have, let me see everything I have here. I have grumpygardenum.net. I have grumpygardenum.online. I have grumpygardenum.site. I have lazylayout.com. I have piatomshow.com. I have pixelpia.com. I have pixelpialive.com. I have, that's it. That's it. And I pay, I think they are $12 for a year for those domain names. But you are right. I should actually do some beginners tutorials about building websites because I know, and there are, I could do a couple, I could do a photo website, I could do a blog, I can do about building a commercial website if you're selling something, or if you, I can do a personal, of course, personal. There are many types of website that people could start. That was an excellent idea. Thank you. Was it you, Ganna, that? Well, you don't have to do very much. You have, after you have set it up, then, for example, I can, on my blog website, which I don't use anymore, but I used to use it. Now I use my website more for connecting with my YouTube. But back when I did it, I had it set up so when I wanted to write something, I could do it on my phone and just send it up there, and it was up right away. So it's just these initial steps to set everything up. Then it's not hard. So that's a good idea. I'm not sure if it was you, Ganna, that came up with the idea with WordPress. So WordPress, and then we had a GIMP beginner's tutorial is number 2. Okay, ladies, I actually, it's just 5 minutes after my total time. Not bad, 7 minutes for be exact. I hope you found something useful. I got great ideas from you that I was going to work on. Potatoes sprout and grow, Ghana, so there is still hope. You are right, the tinkerer's wife. Yeah, my time was pretty good for once. I kept it to an hour. And thank you so much for giving me those excellent ideas. I have to take a quick look to let you know. Scully, hi, welcome. Just as I am about to close down. Next Wednesday, I was planning on doing something more relaxed, in not having a theme exactly like I did today. I was actually thinking about sitting down and just talking the future of my channel. I was gonna collect ideas. I'm gonna post something about this online before we start. But I would love for people to feel that they could more wish what I was making on my channel instead of me just coming up with ideas. Not that I need help with coming up with ideas. There are so many things I want to do. But it's more important that you can let me know what you would like me to do. Like we talked about today. Website, building website, and a GIMP tutorial. And I was planning on trying to do a talk like that once a month on my channel. So next Wednesday will be a chit chat about what you need from me, what you want from me, and just hanging out and getting to know each other. So I hope. Thank you, Scully. I hope so. I hope so. So I hope to see you back here next Wednesday when we can just have a sip of coffee, relax, and talk about what you would like to see from me. Oh, yeah, hanging out most definitely counts. So let's hang out here next Wednesday. Until then, be kind to yourself and to each other. And remember, never stop learning. Bye.